Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Ezekiel Calatori. Folks just call me Zeke. I fly for Eve University out of the Nullsec campus in TC9. Lately, a lot of folks have been trying to get their Mumble Overlay to work, and a lot of folks are still having trouble with it. So, come up with a little guide here. Now, there are a lot of places out there that tell you what you need to do. However, a lot of them miss a couple of the finer points, things that need to be done. They also use some misleading language, using like the name for the launcher, this launcher, when actually you're doing it through a separate login. Okay, so I'm going to try to clear all that up. First thing we're going to do is look at Mumble. You should be using Mumble version 1.2.8. Okay. There is a 1.3 snapshot. It is a beta version, so it's not considered stable. Excuse me. Getting the overlay to work with it is hit and miss. It is hit and miss because right now it is very finicky about drivers, which drivers will work with it, which drivers won't, so that becomes an issue. But the 1.2.8 version is stable, and I've been able to get this to work basically 100% of the time for everyone that I've worked with to get it done. So 1.2.8 is what you're going to use. If you do have 1.3, just uninstall it and install 1.2.8. Okay, you won't lose any of your settings or anything, and realistically, you're not really going to lose any functionality either. So go to your configure, go to your settings. In your settings, you're going to drop down into the overlay category there. Make sure, obviously, you have the overlay enabled. Under the layouts, you can basically drag the little icon wherever you want it to go, wherever you want yours to show up. Just read the directions there for resizing and changing all the settings inside of that. You're going to go to the overlay exceptions. This is a fairly important part. You're going to go to whitelist and make sure that's selected. Okay. Now, we're going to be looking for this. You're going to hit add. You're going to go to wherever you have Eve installed. Find your CCP or your Eve directory. Okay. Now, this is what most folks are going through, the Eve Online Launcher, which basically activates the eve.exe file. That is not what we are going to be doing. Go to the bin folder, exefile.exe. You're going to hit open once you've selected it, and once you do that, it'll drop that file right in there. What this is doing, this is telling Mumble that Eve is 100% positive, supposed to have access and work with Mumble. Okay, that's it. Okay, so hit apply, and that's it. You're done there. Okay, now the next part. You'll notice I have two icons listed here. One launcher, one no launcher. Guess what? That's right, one uses a launcher, one doesn't. This is what most folks are used to seeing. Excuse me. Used to the standard screen that comes up with all the advertising on it. The login block right there and everything. And down here you've got the gray bar, which tells you the client's ready, or if there's an update, that bar will gray out and you'll get a progression meter that starts going. Okay. That's all this is for, folks. Okay. The only thing it does for the game is update it. That's it. Okay, you do not need this at all except for updating the game. Let me repeat that. You do not need this at all except for updating the game. Okay? So, doesn't matter what you have in your settings up in here. There's a selection up under the settings for DirectX, where it changes to DX9 or DX11. Doesn't matter what you have that set to, because you're not going to be using this. Okay? So close that. Now you're going to go find that file again. So open up your whatever you use to go find your files, okay, Windows Explorer or whatever you want to call it. Go to your CCP, your Eve. Remember, you're going to go back to that bin folder. Come on down, find exefile.exe, right click, hit copy. You can go ahead and close out or move it off to the side. Right click on the screen somewhere, hit paste shortcut. And there you go. That is now your shortcut to what you'll be using. Now, you're going to open this up under properties. Okay. This is what most of you will see. Some of you, depending on your operating system, will have quotation marks like that. Okay. If your system has quotation marks, leave the quotation marks there. If your system does not have the quotation marks, don't add them. Okay? It's that simple, folks. So, that's what it will look like when you first open up the properties. This is what we're going to make it look like. Everything before here is exactly like it is over there. Okay? It's everything after here that we're going to change. I will post this into the description so everybody can just do a copy paste. That'll make things easy. Okay. The basic parameter additions are /noconsole /triPlatform equals DX9. Now, take special note, there's a capital P in platform. Okay. It needs to be that way because that's how the programmer did it. And if you don't put that capital in there, it won't make the call to the right function. Okay? There should be a space between the first slash and either the E and EXE or the quotation marks. Okay? So if you have a quotation mark there, make sure you go space, then /noconsole. Okay? Before you start it. That's it. Once you get that done, you'll hit apply, save it like it is. And from that point on, this is what you'll use. Okay? Now, before we start this up, actually, let's start it up twice. Excuse me. Sorry, it's so slow. I've got something else buffering and rendering in the background. Really shouldn't have started this before that finished, but that's going to take a little while. So here you go. This is what the new login screen will look like, sort of. Down here, you probably see a big picture of me on there. There's actually a login section down here. It's a very simple login screen. It's got a username, it's got a password section, it's got a connect button. Off to the right of it, it says server tranquility, status unknown, and the number of players that are currently on there. Okay. If ever you start this up and it says server tranquility status unknown, number of players unknown, like that, then basically, or it says unable to connect, or status unable to connect, that means it needs to update. Okay. So in that event, you would simply hit your escape, close out, hit your launcher, let your launcher come up, let it run its update, shut the launcher down, then restart the game. Okay, now, very important though, you need to start Mumble first. So, you're going to start up Mumble. Down here to one of the tweets. Start it back up. All right, first thing you'll note is right up here, got a little box with my name in it. Mumble is working. Okay, if that box isn't there, then your overlay is not working. Or depending on where you have it, I mean, you might have it over here, down there, somewhere off to the side. But that's it, folks. The only other thing we can do here is let's go over to Mumble. We'll drop on down. Okay, you already see some other names popping up there. Now, you're probably not hearing anything because I'm not piping the sound through, but every time you see a white name come up, that means they're actually speaking. It will go gray. It'll go grayed out for a couple of seconds and then disappear. Basically, you can change how long it stays up there. You can change colors. You can do all kinds of things, okay, so that you know what's going on. But that's it, folks. If you have any questions or any troubles, and obviously if you're with Eve University, you can just get a hold of me in-game mails. You can get a hold of me by just jumping on the Mumble, come down in the nullsec channel and say, hey Zeke, need some help. Check, make sure we're not in combat comms. We could be shooting at people. Other than that, send me an in-game mail if you have any questions. Ezekiel Calatori. And if you can't get it working, we'll see what we can get going. Okay? Take care, see you in game, and fly dangerous.